Hi, friends. I recorded this class, and one of my cameras was on a time lapse. So the visuals for this class, you'll only be seeing me part of the time, but I thought it was a worthwhile thing to just post the class anyway. And I've included the time lapse at the beginning of the class. So if there's a direction that you can't see on the screen that you'd like to see, then maybe you can find it in the time lapse after the class for the next time you do it. Enjoy! Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome to a nice strong practice. Let's start in standing at the front of our mat in a forward fold with your feet hip width apart, outside of your feet are parallel. Nice deep bend in your knees. Let your belly rest against your thighs and take the opposite elbow with each hand. Bring a little bit of movement into your body. So as you move, notice how the parts of your body that you need to engage shift, really tuning into those subtle or maybe not so subtle shifts, especially if this is early on in the morning. And then you might like to find some stillness, really feeling the crown of your head moving closer to the ground progressively over the next 30 seconds or so. Come into your breath, this really foundational core element of our practice. A nice soft jawbone, feel your ribs expanding all directions with each breath cycle. Notice how the exhales can bring a softening, how the inhales can create space in your body and kind of cue you into the movement that you need to make to bring opening. Interlace your hands behind your back, grip your palms together, and then straighten your arms. See if you can bring breath across your collarbone. Stay with that breath. Feeling the legs maybe starting to shake a little. Mine are. Release your hands all the way down to the ground. Halfway lift, place your hands on your shins. Press into your shins as you press into your hands. And feel those opposing forces resonate length into your spine. Your navel is drawing in, starting to bring a little bit of life to the core. Take a nice long inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down, fold. Inhale, high mountain, arms reach up. Watch your palms touch. And then gaze forward. Find a natural curve in your spine. Take your left wrist with your right hand. Lift up and lean over to the right, bringing length into the left side. Just roll that left shoulder blade down your spine. Your legs are strong, so awareness of your foundation. And of course, don't stop breathing here. Inhale through center, change sides. First find the length, then movement, and then draw the shoulder blade down the spine. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, fold forward. Nice bend in the knees. Place your left hand under your chest on your fingertips. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Maybe a little bend in your left knee, but too much of a bend here and lose quite a lot of the twist. So find a happy medium for yourself. Maybe rotating that wrist at the top clockwise, anti-clockwise. And then change sides, right hand down, left arm sweeps. A little bit of movement, find where the twist begins and ends. Feel that wrist, left wrist. And left hand down to the ground. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Repeat with your own breath. See if you can define the speed of your movement through the speed of your breath. So don't rush that transition, almost like a little dance. Close your eyes and tune into your body, although this is likely to be a relatively strong practice, or not while, because this is a relatively strong practice, and with all practice, really, the importance of tuning into one's body, a kind of mindful movement. So often, when we go to gym, for example, we might not move in the same mindful way that we do in our practice, and I really wonder why that is. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, high mountain, arms reach up. Take the left wrist with the right hand over to the side. Navel draws in to support that. Come through center, change sides. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right arm sweeps up. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, plank pose. You can stay in a plank, or you can modify by bringing your knees down to the ground. And then let's just shift our weight from side to side, just gently. And rotate your wrists. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, anything that feels good, really. Just keep your core strong. You don't want to be curving too much around your midline, around your hips. Movement. And then pause in a plank with your fingers facing your toes. Maybe your knees are on the ground here. Remember, that's always an option. And a little bit of movement back and forth. Coming forward on your toes, shifting back onto your toe mounds. Can you lift your hips a little higher and make sure that your shoulder blades are spreading apart nicely. Distance from heels to crown. Spine is long. Pause at the top of your plank, take a nice inhale. Exhale, chaturanga with the fingers facing backwards. We're going to pause here. Exhale, press up. 2 more of those as an option. And press, your elbows are squeezing in towards your ribs, coming forward, lower, press up into a plank. Hands reach, fingers reach forward. Bring your knees down to the ground, take a seat on your shins. Interlace your fingers and then just start to rotate your wrists a little. Close your eyes, breathe. A little shake of the wrists over there. Coming forward into a forearm plank. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and really go for this energetic connection between elbows and toes, like you're really trying to squeeze your mat, make little wrinkles almost to that point underneath your navel, everything drawing there. And notice by doing that, your navel is going to automatically engage and lift. Now just spread across your shoulder blades and hold. If you want to bring a little bit of movement in here, you're welcome to. Little shifts forwards and backwards or around to the side. Separate your feet hip width or a little wider. Take an inhale. Exhale, heels drop over to the left, lower your left hip. Coming up through center, nice big arc. Over to the right and to the left. The exhales create the lift. The inhales are the lower. It'll help you engage your core on the way up. And don't lose that engagement around your shoulders. It's such a full body experience. Finding those circles. And then coming back to center. Lower your hips down to the ground. Whew. Sphinx pose. Press into your forearms and draw your chest a little closer towards the front of the room. So nice and tall. Maybe you lengthen your arms or straighten your arms and lift your chest, drawing yourself forward. Navel drawing into your spine, feeling that Opening across your front line. And then coming back down onto your forearms. Shifting yourself back into a child's pose. We'll be here for about 4 more breaths. When you're ready, position your forearms on the ground as though they would be for forearm plank, preparing for forearm plank. Grip with your finger pads, so you need to draw your elbows towards each other and feel that opening maybe around your armpits. Just sit with that for a moment. And then shifting forward into a forearm plank. Sorry, that was a very brief moment. Coming onto your right blade of your right foot into a forearm side plank. Your left hand is on your hips. Keeping your right fingers forward, ideally, you can direct them towards the left if you need more support. You can also bring your foot up your mat and left foot up your mat and use that for support halfway up. Lift your hips nice and high. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift your hips, drawing your navel. Inhale, lower, and lifting up. Coming down and finding a increased range of motion with each breath cycle. The hips don't touch the ground on the way down. Place your left hand on the ground into a full side plank on the left side. Right arm reaches up. You can stay here. Maybe your feet are stacked and your toes flexed. Maybe you can lift your right leg up towards the sky, pointing the toes. Maybe your right arm reaches forward. Rather place your right toes behind you into a wild thing as an option. Changed my mind last minute there. I felt like I needed this front opener. And then come into a plank pose, moving through a chaturanga, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Child's pose. Again, preparing for that forearm plank. So grip with your finger pads, keeping your head on the ground for now. Draw your elbows towards each other. Notice how that broadens across your upper back. Ground your forearms. Shift forward, forearm plank. Take a moment, just find stability there. And then shifting onto the blade of your left foot, side forearm plank. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Hips are nice and lifted. Or you can place your right hand on your right hip. Any other modifications you took on the other side. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the hips. Just watch there's no back bend. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep moving with your breath. Tune into that core engagement, especially as you lift. Increasing the range of motion as you move each cycle. A little bigger than the one before maybe. And coming into a full side plank on your right side, left arm extending up. And then maybe the left foot lifts up towards the sky, maybe left arm towards the front of the room. Press into your right hand. Right leg is really engaged, both legs are. Wild thing. Find a lift in your hips. If wild thing isn't in your practice, then just stay in that side plank. And we'll meet back in a plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Maybe a little linger there. And downward dog. Lift from the navel. Deep breath into your nose. Open your mouth. Exhale. Look at your feet and walk your hands all the way towards the back of your mat into a standing forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Pause a moment. Come to your breath. Heel to your feet mat width apart, a little angle out of your toes. Inhale all the way up, hands reach to the sky. The kind of short star pose. Really turn your legs down, squeeze your glutes, hands to your heart, lower your hips, Malasana. Finding a lift of your spine. And then standing forward fold, feet together, heels just a little apart. Inhale, arms reach up, extend your hands to the ceiling. Look at your palms touch, little back bend, hands to your heart. Breathe. Hands down alongside your body. Working on a little bit of leg strength here. You can stay at, maybe take a few steps so you're halfway up your mat. And then into a chair pose, Utkatasana, arms lift up, hips lower. Nice and low, look at your toes. You can ideally see them and then find a lift of your chest. Natural curve in your spine. Look down at the ground, look at your toes, keep the bend in your knees, left foot stays down, one-legged high mountain with the right knee drawing in towards your chest. And then bring your hands to your hips, bring your right foot in front, facing the left, almost preparing for a figure four, and then bring your right knee all the way out to the side, twisting the right foot towards the back of the room, moving into almost this kind of arabesque position. Keep the bend in the right knee and then press the right heel up towards the ceiling. Bring the right knee behind the left, bending the left knee. Don't bring anything on the right side down to touch the ground. And then press all the way back up into a one-legged high mountain. Left foot outside, left thigh. Let's try that again. Knee draws in, rotating it all the way open. Right heel towards the ceiling. Lift your chest, engage your glutes as you press the right heel up. Let's come back, same way, step by step. Ooh. And coming back to one-legged high mountain, last time. Getting to your starting point, opening it up, see if you can find lift through grounding of that left foot. And maybe a little pulse or two with the right heel upwards, and then coming all the way back, burning legs, and both feet down to the ground. Maybe walk it out a little bit, rotating giving your arms a little shake, a little whirl, and then come back to center. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, chair pose. Nice and low. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Lift your chest. Close your eyes and breathe. Feel your core. Look down at your toes with both knees bent. Start to lift the left knee into your chest, one-legged high mountain. Whoa. Finding stability first before you start to move. Left foot up in front of the right thigh, right hip. And then changing sides, you can bring your hands to your hips. Left heel all the way over, the knee stays bent into your arabesque sort of position. And then press the left heel up. And then coming back, opening all the way around. Back to the starting point, 2 more times. Feel the foundation in your right foot. A lot of your tension is there. And around your core and of course your breath, which is tricky to do while talking. So the relationship between breath and balance is so important, and I find it tricky to talk and balance at the same time. And the last time moving back, maybe a little pulse this time again. and coming back through center or through the side and then to center, both feet down. And again, a little shake. Into a mountain pose, arms reach up to the sky, high mountain, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bring your hands to your heart center, let's go there, and then become light on your right foot. Extend your right leg forward into that pistol squat. Right leg is forward, balancing on the left foot. We're going to press ourselves all the way up. You can bend your right knee if you like. On the exhale, lift. Woo. Lower, straighten the leg. Or you can keep it straight as you lift. Lower. Maybe your hands can help with balance here. And last time, I think that double last time. And then coming all the way down, taking a seat. Keep that left knee bent. Inhale, arms extend upwards. And then exhale, fold, take the right foot. You can keep that left knee bent, ideally squeezing it in towards your shoulder. Not so much about folding forward as about just lengthening your spine, opening around your hips. 5 breaths. Inhale, come up, place your hands behind you and bring your left knee, your right knee in line with your left. And we're going to move into reverse tabletop with that right leg lifted. On an exhale, lift. And then lower, but hips don't touch the ground. Just hover above. Lift, squeeze your glutes. Lower, exhaling up. Coming down with your breath. 5 more. Ground through the left heel. And both feet down on the ground. Lower your hips. Take a moment, open your chest, bend your elbows, broaden across your collarbone. Breathe. And then left leg extends forward. Oh, let's actually come back to that on the other side, shall we? So into your reverse tabletop. Walk your hands to your heels, all the way over into a standing forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold, navel in. High mountain. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair. Bring your hands to your heart. This time, the left leg is going to lift into that pistol squat. Come down low. You can, of course, always use your hands. Lifting that left leg if you can, so your quadricep is engaged. Apologies for my grabby feet. Exhale, lift yourself up. Woo. Lowering down, maybe your hands for balanced lift. Lower. Lift. And lifting it up. Exhale, lower. Coming all the way down. Ground the right foot. Inhale, arms extend. Exhale, fold over that left foot. Squeeze inside of that right thigh into your arm. Ideally grounding both hips. Sometimes easier said than done. Inhale, coming up. Here we go with the left knee in line with the right, lifted. Left leg lifted. Into your reverse tabletop press-ups. Inhale, exhale, lift your hips. Lower, lift. Just hover, lift, navel in, glutes engaged. Moving with your breath. 3, 2, 1. Reverse tabletop. both feet down, lift your hips, and then walk your hands forward to your heels, standing forward fold, halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold, place your palms underneath your feet, really stand on your wrists. If you're not getting there, bend your knees or just place your hands on your shins or taking the opposite elbow with each hand. Grounding through your heels to almost spread your sit bones apart. 5 breaths. Let's make it 8. Release your hands. Inhale, come all the way up, high mountain. Little back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart center. To the top of your mat. Big toes together, heels apart. Standing tall, feel your weight and the feet pressing down evenly. Finding a lift from that and a evenness to your breath. Big toes together, heels apart, into a chair pose, Utkatasana. Come onto the balls of your feet, lift your heels, sit up tall, and then start to lower yourself down more. Open your knees out wide, extend your arms forward, coming all the way back into a low boat pose. Heels off the ground, shoulder blades off the ground. Draw your navel in. Maybe you can grab the outside of your mat and push away from you to ground your lower back a little bit more. Maybe extending your arms behind your head. We'll be here for about 5 more breaths. And release down to the ground. Bend your knees, your hands above your head maybe. And then just lift your hips up. Very gentle back bend, not a full bridge. Lower them down, maybe 1 or 2 more times. Navel draws in. And lowering all the way down. Extend your arms forward back into the low boat pose. This time coming onto the right side of your body with your legs a little bit separate. So your right foot is in front of the left foot. Maybe placing your hands behind your head, interlacing fingers, elbows behind your vision, and then tap your left foot flat on the mat and lift it up. Just small little taps. Really engage the left side of your body all around your obliques. Both legs staying active. Woo. And come back to center. And then change sides, rolling over onto the left side. And tapping the right foot. Each exhale, drawing the navel in just a little more. 2, 1. Back to a low boat pose. You got this. Boat pose, Navasana. Lift yourself up. Sitting tall, almost like a resting pose after that. Lift your chest, shoulders going back and down. 2 more breaths here. Finding lift, press through your hips. And then ground your feet, wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Lengthen your spine. Close your eyes, breathe. Place your hands behind you, reverse tabletop. Lift up your hips, walk yourself forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Hop through a vinyasa. Step. Maybe walk wherever you're at. You'll meet in a downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. We're going to hold it here for 10 breaths. So really engaging through both legs. If you'd like an extra challenge, ground through your right hand and bring your left hand up alongside your body. Fingers pointing to the back corner of the room. Maybe opening your eyes and finding your drishti, your point that you gaze on, for balance, for focus. And then bring your left hand back down to the mat. Open your hip and bend your knee. Find an opening on the right side of your body. And then right knee crosses over to your left tricep. Extend the right leg all the way out to the side. And can you maybe even point it up towards the ceiling as you lift your left arm up? Back to a three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, stepping through, coming up into a warrior two. Length through a grounding, lift through that grounding rather. Look at your front big toe. Engage your front line to find a lift. Moving to Skandasana at the back of your mat, straighten your left leg bends. Flex those right toes, maybe a little micro bend in the right knee, and shifting to the front. Moving to the back, ground through the heel as you move. Let's actually come all the way up as we move through center. Grounding through the right heel, moving to the back. Ground left heel, coming up, moving to the front. With your breath, maybe double speed if you'd like to really get a bit more cardio. And last time into a low lunge at the front of your mat. Straighten your right leg into kind of a modified pyramid here. You're on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine, ground the left hand, maybe onto your left fingertips. Inhale, right arm reaches upwards. Draw the right hip back and down. Let's revolve triangle, maybe a few rotations of your right wrist. Breathe. Right hand down to the ground, standing splits, left leg lifts. And really, little bend on the right knee and really lifting through the grounding. Deep breath in. Exhale, left foot meets the right, halfway lift. Inhale, exhale, fold, high mountain, arms extend upwards. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Move through your vinyasa and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Stay with your breath as the speed of your movement. Inhale, left leg reaches upwards. Open your hip, bend your knee. Lifting that left knee. Pressing the right thigh to the back of the room. And then crossing over, left knee meets the top of your right arm. Onto the heel of the right foot and extend the left leg upwards. Maybe right arm towards the front of the room. Core strong. And back to a three-legged dog. Left leg sweeping up, knee to nose. Step it through, and then up to a warrior two. Maybe closing your eyes and tuning into a really powerful breath. Bring your hands to your heart center. Skandasana at the back of the mat. And now when we move to the front, we might even take a little hop off the right foot. So hop up and then lower down. Hop up. Everything's shifting around here, lower down. If the hop isn't working for you, then just leave it. Shifting to the front and the back, and then into a pyramid pose at the front of your mat. The left leg is forward. Carpet shifting around on me. Finding length in your spine. A nice squaring of your hips. Maybe on your fingertips. Right hand grounds and left arm lifts. Into that twist, navel in. Can you find distance from your right heel all the way through to the crown of your head? Exhale, left hand down into your standing splits. I like to play around with shifting my weight forwards and backwards until I find myself stacked over my left foot evenly. Once I've got that, then it's working the right leg a little higher, stronger engagement in your glutes. And right foot down to meet the left, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. High mountain, arms reach up. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Back bend, cactus arms, lift your heart. Strong core engagement. Exhale, hands to your heart center, pause. Hands down alongside your body, mountain pose. Close your eyes, 5 breaths. Inhale, arms reach up, moving slowly. Exhale, fold forward. Your full breath takes you there. Halfway lift, so it's a short movement, so it's got to be slower. It's timed with your breath. And then bend your knees, take a seat. Bringing the left shin underneath the right shin. So we want a nice kind of square here. If you find your right knee is really lifting up, you can place a block or something below it. Otherwise, make sure that there's a nice straight line. Your right ankle is on your left knee in that kind of nook. You should feel this in the outside of the left hip. Lift yourself up and shift a little over to the left, just so you're nice and even. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe walking your hands forward a little bit, and then just release down to your mat. Also, sitting on a block would definitely help here, or a pillow, or whatever's handy. About 8 more breaths. Make them count. See if you can find more depth in the posture, just progressively. On the next inhale, walk yourself up slowly. Inhale, arms reach upwards. Exhale, hands to your heart center. And then change sides. Take your time to set it up nicely. And hips may be shifting a little over to the right. Natural tendency here might be for them to shift over to the left. Figure out what you need to lengthen before you come down. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then fold forward. But pay attention to what you intend to get out of this posture, and then make little shifts in your body. They're going to help that end. Your breath so important here in maintaining focus as well as bringing opening. Inhale, bring yourself up, moving slowly. Extend both legs out in front of you. Flex your toes. Come on. Sideways. Create length in your spine. Lift your hands as your crown reaches upwards, and then keep the length as you fold forward. Take whatever's handy. Maybe a few breaths to help to shift your chest forward, a little bend in your knees maybe. Be here for about 8 breaths. And just sit with yourself a moment, observing shifts in your body with each breath cycle. Relax your neck. And on the next inhale, bring yourself up. Place your hands behind you, fingers facing forward, and then lift your hips up towards the sky. Open across your chest, and then lower yourself down. Roll onto your back as we prepare for a twist. Draw your knees into your chest. Extend your left leg all the way to the front, and then take a twist. Right knee drops over to the left, and gaze out beyond your right hand. Maybe using your left hand to press your right hip forward. And then let go. Coming through center, change sides when you're ready. Maybe your hips shift a little to the left so you can have a nice straight line from your right heel through to your crown. Maybe again a little adjustment, pressing your left hip forward with your right hand, lengthening the left side of the body. Coming back to center, place your feet flat on the mat, lift your hips up. You can move into a bridge or a supported bridge, which is what I'm going to do, but with my hands. So my elbows are underneath my wrists as much as possible, and then my hands are on my sacrum, my shoulders on the mat. Or you can use a block. Just a few breaths here. Maybe walk your feet forward if you'd like more depth. Keep an engagement in your inner thighs, like you're holding a block between them. And then walk your feet back, lift your hips, lower down slowly onto your back. Give your knees one more squeeze, wrapping your arms around your shins, ground your lower back, and then moving into a Shavasana. when you're ready, a few little shifts until you find yourself really comfortable. Take a deep inhale through your nose, open your mouth, exhale. I'm going to leave you to enjoy your own Shavasana. Spend as long as you can here. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.